welcome to Spotlight. I am Comfort Mussa, your host on the show. Spotlight is a co-production of NAJA TV and Sister Speak 237, and on Spotlight, we bring to center stage discussions and issues that are missing from everyday narratives. Today on Spotlight, we zoom in on the Cameroon movie industry. I know there have been a lot of debates. We're having this program at a time when there's a lot of debate about banning foreign artists, banning foreign music, but on Spotlight, we're going to look at the attempt at exporting Cameroonian content and culture. Today on Spotlight, we have two celebrities with us on stage, popular names in Cameroon entertainment. We have with us, they call him the Daddies. They've called you the Daddies so much, I don't even know your real name.
Tanwie Elvis, the Daddies.
Tanwie Elvis, the Daddies, but everyone knows him as the Daddies. And in the movie industry, he's a well-known producer and filmmaker. And we also have Stephanie, producer, actress, businesswoman. Welcome, Steph.
Thanks for having me.
We're very glad that you traveled over 4 hours, 5 hours to be with us on Spotlight today.
It's my pleasure.
Great. And on Spotlight today, we know you're movie makers. You have a lot of Cameroonian movies under your belt, but I just want to know that is what is the movie for you, movie of the season for you? What are you watching? What is that movie that you recommend to others in this season?
In this season, I think Steph is here and her movie
Saving Bango.
Saving Bango.
You're still watching Saving Bango, okay?
I think I will still recommend Saving Bango.
Okay.
And there are lots of others like Fisherman's Diary that is also spearheading the entertainment industry.
I think the Fisherman's Diary, that's a movie that has had
it's up for selections.
Up for selection
at the Oscars.
At the Oscars.
Wow.
I think that for now, those two are the movies that I think.
Movies of the season for you.
Yes, for me.
Steph, what are you watching?
Well, I mean, I don't want to sound biased speaking.
You're watching Saving Bango?
I watch it over and over again.
You made it. You were in it and you're watching.
I'm my own biggest critic, and when I watch it, I don't only watch it to appreciate the work that we did, that the fantastic people who worked on the project did, but to see where I had flaws and how I can correct it. And I watch a lot of other Cameroon movies as well because for me, I want to know everything that my colleagues are doing so that I can up my games, kind of positive competition, that's how I call it. And I also watch a lot of South African movies. Okay. I think there's a lot we have to learn from South African movies. I don't know if you agree with me.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think South African movies are the thing now in African movies.
Right.
Yeah.
So any recommendations? What should people watch this weekend?
Queen of Sono. That's a great
Saving
one.
Bango.
Yes.
Fisherman's Diary.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. And for those who would want to watch these movies, the question is, where do we watch them?
That has been it's a controversial thing. Very controversial.
Yeah,
very controversial.
Yes, very controversial because we don't have cinema halls in Cameroon.
Okay.
Most African countries, you must have known that we don't have that culture of cinema any longer because I don't know, the state that support because an individual cannot be and to do that. So I think that we have that problem.
Okay.
That is why even myself, after a while now, I sat back, I look at the number of films that have been produced so far.
About how many have you produced so far?
The films that I've directed, I've directed more films and produced because I was like looking, because the ideology about production, people just look at it as anybody can just have money. It's just about taking money and having a story and choosing. No, but production is far, far beyond that.
Yeah.
It
Roughly
is now.
About how many have you directed?
Yes, I have directed 46 films.
And where can we get these movies?
Most of the films are now in online platforms.
Okay.
Yes, this online platform. Thanks to some of our brothers out of the country, they have created some platforms where we can have access to the movies that we produce locally. Even Yabadu is here.
Okay.
It was, although it's a little bit discouraging that most of our local audience, they are looking for where to watch movies and it's there and they don't go there.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different. I don't know whether the problem is the issue of the internet that is slow, that they cannot have access to, or I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Stephanie, everyone is talking about Saving Bango. I want to watch Saving Bango. Where do I go to?
Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Yeah, for now, Saving Bango is available on Amazon Prime in the US, in the UK, in Canada. Unfortunately, we have not been able to have it available all over the world because of some discrepancies that we're still trying to resolve. But I would just like to piggyback on what he said about the platforms that are available. We've had, I think, Sango TV, Njoka TV, and a few other platforms that have carried Cameroon films before. But for some reason, they've not been able to sustain for a long period. And I don't know why. And for Yabadu, I think there's a problem with Cameroonians having that culture of consuming Cameroon products, Cameroon content, because you don't really need internet as per se to watch movies on Yabadu, because once you subscribe the 350 francs that you need to subscribe for a movie, you have access to watch the movie without internet connection. So what is stopping them from even consuming maybe the 6-8 Cameroon movies that are on that platform?
So, like you say, Steph, these platforms are there, but Cameroonians are not watching Cameroonian movies. And this is the same complaint we're getting from musicians, from comedians. And some people are now worried that Cameroonians are not watching and are not consuming Cameroonian content enough. And they're rather importing, especially Nollywood content and culture. And we have had some musicians, actors, comedians call on a ban. We've had CY, we heard Stanley Eno recently, and there's this debate in Cameroon. Should we ban Nigerian music and movies? Should we ban the actors? Where do you stand on this debate?
What I want to say is, you know, we are a little bit limited when it comes to the entertainment industry of Nigeria. Sometimes when I hear people just sit and talk about Nigerian film entertainment industry as if comparatively juxtaposing it with our Cameroon, you will say Cameroon started. I've heard a lot of people say things like that. But it's a fat lie.
What is the truth?
Yes. Nigerian, if you look at how the evolution of Nigerian entertainment industry, it was right back there in the 19th century. They did, you know, Nigerian entertainment industry has 4 stages. It has 4 stages. They had the era where, the colonial era. That colonial era it falls within the period where local African industries did not have the access to video and content production because it was forbidden at that time. There were local people who were interested in the domain, but they did not have the right to have images or take pictures or stuff like that. That is why if you look at the history of African cinema, it was after independence, when they granted most of these African countries independence from 1960, that was when you started hearing of filmmakers within Cameroon and other African countries as well. Look at countries like Senegal. In Cameroon, for instance, Cameroon was 2 years after independence. That was the first film was made. Une Nation est née was done by Jean-Paul Ngassa. That was 1962. But when you look at it comparatively to what Nigerians have done, you realize that there is the gap is too big. Nigerians had that era. Then there was a period where the oil boom in Nigeria, that was between 1960 and 1967, when the Nigerian, the oil boom, the explosion of the oil boom, there was a lot of employment in Nigeria. So people had enough money.
More financing.
Yes, more finance now to invest leisure. So film was part of it.
So they started earlier. They had more avenues for financing.
More avenues for financing. And that also happened right up to the 90s and even in the 2000s.
So they are more advanced than us.
Yes. And the problem here is before Nigerians pick up this culture that we are trying to contest today, remember Yakubu Gowon, their former president, in 1972. He actually brought a law, they call it the indigenization law. That law actually prohibited, because before that time, most of these theaters, Nigeria had about 300 theaters. If you yes, you can, before 1960, Nigeria already had about 3.
So that law was prohibiting or limiting foreign culture.
So when he came, he said no.
From the States.
Foreigners have actually enjoyed the culture. They have enjoyed the culture of Nigerian. They have been telling stories about the Nigerian culture. Now it's time for Nigerians to tell their own stories. Yes. So he now brought in that degree, the degree of indigenization that stopped or prevented foreigners now from owning local production companies and all of those theaters. That is how they export most of the foreigners, the Indians that were there and other countries now they had to.
So when you say we should ban foreign content, is that automatically going to promote local content? Where are you on this debate? People are saying ban NAJA artists, ban this.
So
where do you stand?
I am just trying to fish. I want us to get it like that, so that you should understand where Nigeria came from. And if you look at how they came, where they came from, and I think other African countries should have done the same.
They need to copy that.
They need to copy, because believe me or not, you cannot fight Nigeria. Nigeria is the biggest, she has the biggest market in Africa. In terms of entertainment, look at what Goodluck Jonathan came and did in the 2000 when he was president. Goodluck Jonathan actually put, it was about 30 billion, about 200 million US dollars into the entertainment industry. And that was financed by the Nigerian industry bank.
We appreciate all what is happening in Nigeria, the daddies, but I want us to come to Cameroon. These are things that, like Stephanie is saying, we need to copy. These are good things, but when these people are now bringing that to us, we are now saying, no, there's some sort of a pushback. Let's ban it. Let's not have them perform. Stephanie, where are you on this debate of ban NAJA? I mean, you've listened to some of your colleagues talk. Where do you stand?
Well, where I stand is I don't think that we need to, like, ban foreign content into Cameroon. What I think is the laws that were put in place for the 70% quota of the local content should be applied, because it's already there. It's not like it's not there. We already have those laws. But I don't understand why the Cameroon government, they're not actually putting pressure to apply these laws, because we're down here consuming telenovelas, consuming Nollywood movies and stuff like that, and we cannot even consume Cameroon movies on our own national TV. Can you imagine that?
Why don't we have enough local content on local TV stations? You watch Sierra TV and all these other stations, and there's so much foreign content. What's happening? You're not selling to them, or what is happening?
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
As a Cameroon film producer, if you produce a movie that costs millions, and you go to our national TV station, and they want to buy it for maybe like 800,000, ridiculous sums. I'm just going to say it out there the way it is. How do you expect that producer to go back and produce more content and bring to you? Whereas if we actually apply these laws of 70, 30%, and we make room for local content producers to actually bring in their content and they purchase this content, that's giving us back revenue to keep producing more content and for them to keep having more local content on their platform. But when this is not established, they're limiting us, because right now we're using our personal phones to produce movies. And before you actually get your movie out there and get your return on investment, it takes a long time. That's why you see Cameroonians, we don't produce movies back to back to back like Nollywood. So that's the problem we're having. We need Cameroon government to press on these laws that are already existing, so that we can have 70% of Cameroon content on all our platforms, including the cinemas that we have here. We cannot say that we don't have no cinemas in Cameroon. We have Canal Olympia cinema.
But how many Cameroonian movies do they air there?
How many?
So
they had Saving Bango there for a while, but they'll put it on a Thursday. How many people go to the cinemas on a Thursday? And then they will put maybe a French movie or an American movie on the weekends. How are you encouraging Cameroonians to watch Cameroon content when you put it on weekdays when they go to work, and then you put foreign content on weekends when they actually come to the cinema?
I think I just want to add something just to support what Steph just said about the 70%, and 30%. I just want to add that, you know, there is a very big problem, a cultural problem, because of the infiltration of the audiovisual industry through this cable network.
Oh, that's the biggest nightmare.
The competition that is there with 3,000 francs, right?
Right.
You have 80 channels. That 80 channels, therefore, you're competing with countries that are far, far advanced in the domain.
Daddies,
yes.
Is when you're zapping through your TV channels, you've paid 3,000 and you have 100 channels. Yeah. When you're zapping through, do you think you're looking? Are you looking at I want made in Cameroon content, or are you looking at I want a good movie?
A good movie.
A good movie.
A good movie, right?
Yes.
So if consumers are consuming foreign content, is it because they really just dislike Cameroonian content, or because foreign content is more appealing to them?
That is where I was going to when I was trying to bring the historicity about how Nigerians evolved. You know, with the band, with the band of foreigners intruding into their industry, they force the locals, the Nigerians,
to consume made in Nigeria.
Consume made in Nigeria.
But that will probably not work now. We have the internet. So even if you say TV, people will go online. My question is, if we go online, because it's hard to ban local content in a digital, foreign content in a digital area, people will go on the internet. But when we go on the internet, when we are zapping through different channels, can we find Cameroonian content that is competitive? That you can now watch a movie, there's a movie from South Africa, there's a movie from whichever country, and you have a Cameroonian movie and you say, this one is really good and I will watch it.
Yes,
is our content competitive?
If we're talking
100%.
If we're talking about
quality and all of that, we have it. We're on that level at this point in time. I can be really confident to say that Cameroon movies are on that international level with the South African movies, Nigerian movies and stuff like that. We have those kind of content now. But at the end of the day, the biggest problem in the Cameroon film industry is the fact that we don't have a well-structured distribution and marketing system set in place for our movies. Okay. And once we don't have that established, it means we have not created a solution for us to be able to put out our movies on all these platforms and monetize the movies. Whereas these other film industries, that's what they've done. Our work as producers is to produce quality movies. Now we need trained distributors and aggregators to come in, take these movies and distribute it to those platforms. It's a whole chain. So a producer will not go produce a movie and then still be struggling to go and find a way to market the movie and stuff like that. That's not the producer's job.
So there are opportunities
in marketing.
But is there money?
There is a lot of money in filmmaking.
Yes, a lot
but you're not yet making the money.
But we're not making the money because of the problem I just explained.
I heard you saying, for now, producers are not making money.
We're not making money.
We're not making money.
I dare any producer who has made back all the money they spend on their movie to challenge me on this. I dare one.
The Daddies.
Yes, what she's saying is...
So if you have 100 movies out there, there's no producer that has made profit on this venture, because movie making is also business.
The system is very complicated.
It is complicated.
It's very complicated.
If you put in 15 million in a movie, and then you have to go premiere that movie, that's still you spending money out of your pocket to premiere that movie. So that's extra cost on the money that you've already spent. People come for the premieres, they'll buy tickets, they'll buy this, they'll buy that. Sometimes you don't even recover the money you put for organizing the premiere. Talk less of making back your money you put in the movie. So now this is just people who are just driven by passion because they want to do what they're passionate about. But as per making back the money we've invested in movie, there's no producer who has actually recovered that money.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is true. That is.
But then, if you've not recovered the money, you mentioned premieres, and my mind, shot straight to yet other debate we're having, that movie premieres in Cameroon nowadays are not selling the movies, they are selling fashion and the red carpet. So if you're not making movies, if you're not making money from your movies, why are you selling fashion during the premieres? Because after that, people start asking, where can I get a movie? How can I watch? Where can I even get a review of a movie, of a good movie for those who watched, and we don't have it? What's happening?
Concerning the reviews of movies, I think...
and what you're selling during the premieres, it's more fashion than movie.
Yeah, it's more fashion because it's the nature of how the industry has become. You know, it's actually, I am really lamenting, you know, when I want to talk about this because it's terrible. We don't have an industry. We don't have an industry. Yes. I think when I talk about...
For a senior in filmmaking to say we don't yet have an industry in Cameroon,
when I talk about an industry, I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I am inside the Cameroon film industry.
Right.
I've been board member of the Cameroon film industry.
Yeah.
I was communication officer. If you go on Wikipedia... And
you think for now we don't
when
have
I talk about that profoundly, the practitioners in the industry will understand exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. Because there is that consistency that an industry has, that correlation that an industry has, that we don't yet have, because we are in a country where we are bicultural. We have two cultures in the same country. So at one point when we take it from left, by the time we get it to the middle, it's something else. It doesn't go through. You understand? So the work now is go there, come and reach here, and go there, come and reach here. You're not
making progress.
Yes, the progress is not there.
Still, Stephanie.
For someone like me, I mean, becoming a producer actually made me to understand the industry on a deeper level. Because I'll take, for example, when I did Saving Bango, I was very excited. I had a great movie. I knew, okay, this is going to be... That was 2019. I knew this is going to be an opportunity for me to probably get through in the French market and the English market. All I need to do is dub my movie. I've already subtitled it in French and English. All I need to do is dub it in French and I can access the French market. But that's when the reality hit me. For us anglophone filmmakers, we can't even access the French market. I don't care if you dub your film in French. I faced this problem with one of the two top French channels that you know are the biggest, like international French market. I don't want to call the names, but what they do is if you shoot in English, they can't purchase it. You have to shoot in French.
But we have these people translating Nigerian movies and selling to us.
That's the thing. If you dub it, I have the emails. They'll tell me you have an amazing film, but if it's not in the local language or in French, we cannot purchase it. So now you've shot in English, you're an anglophone filmmaker. How do you sell this content now? Do I have to go start shooting in French?
Even after translating?
Even after translating it. But I see them showing Nollywood movies.
In
French.
Exactly.
So I'm asking myself, like, what's going on here?
So what's really going on? Because I see a lot of Nollywood movies aired on channels here in Cameroon, translated into French.
The cable channels that our people are zapping and looking for good films.
But you translate your content into French and you cannot access
it's difficult.
The French market.
Yes.
It's very difficult.
So now we're fighting that, and then we're trying to penetrate the English market, which is probably through Nigeria. Because, I mean, Cameroon, we have to go through Nigeria.
So you can't even ban Nigeria because you need
Nigeria because we need them.
Yes.
We can never ever ban Nigeria.
It's not
we need to get that. It's no smart move at all. We're having The Fisherman's Diary. It's going to be the first Cameroon film on Netflix. That I think the deal is sealed. Lots of money involved and all of that. But guess what? They had to go through a Nigerian aggregator to get it on Netflix.
I think
they had to import a Nigerian actor to be in the movie to give it some kind of credibility because he has a bankable face. We don't even have bankable actors.
We need to get into this after the break and look at what collaborations across borders means. We'll take a break right now, and when we come back, we'll hear more about the Cameroon entertainment industries with the Daddies and Stephanie.
Nous avons pensé. Pour mieux répondre à vos attentes, nous avons rehaussé le standing.
hôtel le Quai d'Orsay, better than what you imagine.
Welcome back. Before the break, Steph, you were telling us about this breakthrough that Fisherman's Diary has had.
Yeah.
And the fact that they had to associate with your colleagues in Nigeria.
Yeah.
At the time when other colleagues are trying to push back Nigerian artists.
I think that's because they do not understand the benefits of collaborating with people who are already established. Because that's just you, like, you know, gaining access to what they've already built. And that's just you trying to make the existing actors or musicians that you have in your country known internationally and exporting your culture internationally as well. So for us to ban these foreign artists coming into our country, that's the biggest wrong move ever. Because how do we make our own artists bankable when people don't know them?
And Steph was saying we don't yet have bankable actors. And what does that mean, Steph? What are you saying?
When we talk about bankable
because
actors,
I understand the concept of being bankable, but to say we don't have,
we don't have. Do we
The
even have
Daddies.
cinemas
Yeah.
where
What
our
is it?
movies are like,
all
you know,
these big movie stars, non-bankable yet?
Bankable, it means that,
What investing in
yes, what investing in.
huge
Yes.
sums of money you don't yet have?
We don't yet have.
are their faces going to bring back the money invested in the movie?
Yes.
So we don't. So you scan through your head in the Cameroon movie industry, and you have 30 million project, and you're looking for a face, you know, that can take you there, a personality more than just the face, a skill, a talent, and you don't yet have that.
We have talented actors,
Yes.
but we
but
don't
not
have
yet
bankable
because
actors.
they're yet to establish that
Exactly.
reputation.
And how do they create that? It's by us exporting them out of the country, selling our culture out of the country, and getting this influx, like people coming into the country, consuming our products, us monetizing our content, and then they become bankable.
Right.
And then when we take these talented people that we already have, put them in our movies, when people look at them, they're like, oh, I have to go watch
Yeah,
this film. I
because
know this
there's this
person.
actor
And then we start
and
making money
actress
because of them
Yeah.
in the
Right.
project.
Yes.
Right.
Until then, we
We
don't
don't
have.
yet have.
Yeah.
But now I see many producers and promoters attempting to break out into international markets,
Yeah.
probably so that we get to that point where you're making money,
Yes.
and also so we are recognizable.
Yes.
And how has that move been, trying to break beyond? First of all, you have your challenges in Cameroon market, and then you want to go out of
To me,
of
I
the
think
country.
that there is something that we are still missing out, that internal collaboration. Because they say charity begins at home.
At home.
Steph have done, probably she has done a film that is making, you know, pushing the culture of Cameroon out there. But she's just alone.
Yeah.
Of course. Just come to think of it, Fisherman's Diary, if you look at the kind of collaboration that existed within that production, it was huge.
Huge.
Really?
So,
okay.
Yes, it was very huge.
Had
And
like 4 different directors on one project.
On one project.
That's the first time it's happening in Cameroon.
Yes, it has never happened. So you see the outcome. You understand?
Right.
It's true that there may be differences along the line, but we need to start as they have started, you know,
Yeah.
come together on a project. If you look at American films, Western films, you all see producers, like 3 or 4
Yeah, there's
producers
a
start
long
together.
list.
But here we still have that mentality, that mindset of, oh, I
need to
must.
do-
It's
I
like
want
the
my name.
It's
Yes,
me,
so
me,
I
me.
think we need to break
Yeah.
out of that.
And collaborate
Collaborate.
more.
When we collaborate more, we have more openings.
Yeah.
Yes, because your opening is not the same as mine.
You
so
have
when
different networks that
different
you can
networks.
tap
So we
into.
go out there, it's easier. The way it will not be on Stephanie alone or myself alone.
Exactly.
You understand? Steph goes now. Daddies is this way, the other person that way.
Yeah.
Before you know it, the film is getting to the places where we want it to
Steph,
be.
you've made some inroads into the foreign markets.
Yeah.
How did you break through?
Well, I think at the end of the day, it's networking as well. Because sometimes we on our own, we try to attend all of these festivals, seminars, and things that concerns filmmakers around the world. You just go out there and you try to network, because at the end of the day, we cannot do things only within ourselves here in Cameroon, even as much as we can collaborate and do things, but if we don't go out there, we will not understand what the other people are doing out there that works for them. So that's what, like, I'm driven towards that direction. I need to understand how these people are doing, what is making them to succeed. So those collaborations, like, you know, just talking with other filmmakers out there, understanding their journey, understanding the things that they do, and, you know, all of those things, it will actually help us to be able to, you know, break through gradually into their film industries. And it's during these festivals and stuff that you actually meet these people one-on-one and tell them, hey, I'm a filmmaker from Cameroon. I'd like to invite you, or like, on my next project, this is what I've done already. If you're interested, you establish that relationship. And that's what most filmmakers like him, they've done in the past, and they've been able to bring the Ramsey Noirs, the Zach Ojis, and so
Nollywood.
on. Still Nollywood. the John Dumelos, the Majid Michels, Ghana and Nollywood most essentially. And if we look thoroughly, Ghanaians, that's what they started doing. They started importing Nigerians to do films with them, collaborations with them, and they got into Nollywood. And today their industry has exploded. Whereas they came far behind Cameroon, but they were smart to collaborate and expand.
So there is a future in collaborating. So instead of fighting, you have your movie on Amazon Prime and on other platforms. Who are those buying from you? Do you have foreigners or it's Cameroonians in the diaspora? Because I looked at, I tried to follow the trend when you put out the Saving Bango on Amazon Prime. There were many reviews, and you know the feedback was mostly from Cameroonians in the diaspora. So how is it now? Because it's been a couple of months since it's been out. Do you have other nationalities and other countries getting?
Oh yes, I have a lot of Sierra Leoneans watching Saving Bango, and that's because of the network that I actually had in the US with a few of them. I have a lot of Cameroonians in the diaspora. The problem with Cameroonians is they will only follow up on something if it's training, because they don't want this FOMO, like the fear of missing out. So when it's training, that's when they get on it. And that is what, I already knew this. And that's why when I decided to start doing the promotion and the marketing of Saving Bango, I was all in on promotion and marketing. I knew that if it's trending, these people will join it. I don't even need my family to share it. I don't need my friends to share it. I put a budget aside for marketing and promotion. I paid all the bloggers that I could pay. I invited them to watch the movie and give reviews about the movie before the movie was even out. And that's how it started training. And people were like, I want to watch this movie. I want to watch this movie. I have to be part of it. I have to be this. And then I did something that we usually don't do. The premiere was only on invitation. I didn't sell any tickets. So I made it for people to, like, you just make them to be more hungry. They want to watch it. You don't just give them access like that. And then the next thing I did, I put it on Amazon Prime. And that's where I got, in like a month, I got over 10,000 views on Amazon Prime. And the film wasn't on rent, it was on purchase only. And when people like things that they cannot have. Yes, they want it. They want to belong to that group of people who have watched it, who will come and talk about it, who will be, you know, trending with the whole thing and all of that. Once you create, that's what Cameroonians want. That's the mentality. But when you just make it easy for them, they don't even want it anymore.
Very true.
They don't want it.
Very true.
That's how Cameroonians are.
So maybe it's a change in strategy that
is a change in strategy. We have to make. When we're putting our movies there, we have to make them to believe that that movie is the top of the top and you have to watch it. And it's the way we handle it and go about with it, the promotions and all of that. If you just carry your movie and just put it out there, they'll be like, Master, I know that they're kind of film than that. But once you put that interest around that film and make it to trend, they want to be part of that trend.
So what needs fixing, as I hear you talk, is more of marketing. For those who have succeeded to produce good movies, and you are saying more collaboration because people are still working in silos. And
then there should be a lot of training at the level of our post-production. Because we
don't have experts on post-production.
It's limited.
Very limited. We have very few. If, for instance, we have like 4 productions that are going on now, we have a problem of post-production.
Because you have very few experts
they have to wait, everywhere. They're pulled everywhere. So I think that at that level, we still need to work. Then distribution and marketing, as she said, the strategy that she employ, you understand. Not every producer will have all of that time. Normally, there are structures like in Nigeria. We have, you know, that's why I was just saying that we don't have an industry.
We don't have
an industry.
A structured industry. We have an industry, but it's not. You know,
it's everywhere.
Yeah,
really
because when I talk about an industry, it's something that, you know.
You have distribution.
Yeah.
In Cameroon, something I hear often. It's everywhere on social media. Support your own. Actors are crying, oh, we're not getting enough support. Producer, everyone is saying we're not supporting our own sufficiently. What will support look like for you?
For me, I will not say Cameroonians do not support Cameroonians. They support quality. The demand for quality. If you want Cameroonians to support you, they need to get what they're asking for. If not, they will chew you.
But you hear actors every day saying you're not supporting us, we're not getting enough support.
Well, hey, you need to put in the work for them to support you.
So what does support look like for you, Daddies?
For me, I think at the level of support, right, as she said, the avenue that they have created already for the audience to have a taste of variety has created the minds of Cameroonians to go for the best.
The best.
That's why when there are films that we do here, any film goes, awards, they are coming back with awards. You think that that's what happens? Other countries also do films. Why don't they bring the awards too? They don't take the awards. It's because of the phobia. The Cameroonian audience has, you know, they have been placed at that level where they want to see things at the top.
At the top.
So that support will only come when they are able to derive that satisfaction. That is when they'll start to say, no, Stephanie, she's saying that because she
I got the support.
Because
I
have experienced support.
Both of you are saying that the actors and actresses and musicians who are online saying, no, support your own, we're not getting enough support. Both of you are saying they need to step up their
quality. They need to step up. They need to work on their arts. They need to take more courses to improve on their arts. Yeah. They need to get a side job so that they can maintain their lifestyles.
Yes.
They need to get a life aside filmmaking. Yeah. And that way, they'll stop concentrating on the fact that they're feeling entitled, that people need to be supporting them all the time. Put in the work. Put in the work and keep working, and you see the support coming in. The Genevieve Najis, they did not become the big stars overnight. They put in the work. We saw it. They grew in front of our own eyes. We saw the way they started. We saw their journey. The Ramsey Noahs and all of them, they put in the work. We need to go back to the drawing board. Put in the work. And while doing that, before we have a financially sustainable entertainment industry, get your side hustles so that you keep up that image that people are expecting for you to keep up.
And when we talk about support your own, there's a flip side. Artists are saying, no, we're not getting enough support. But the market is saying we're not getting enough from the entertainment industry because we are in this time in Cameroon where there are a lot of critical issues. There's a crisis in the Northwest and Southwest. There's massive, you know, discouragements amongst youth who are not able to find jobs and live the kind of lives that they want. And people are saying the actors, the actresses, the producers are not giving back their art to help solve these problems. There are many people saying, why have there not been movies addressing these issues? Why are artists not singing about it enough?
If you look at how our country
wants to go to jail?
If you look at how our country is, you don't match the tail of a snake, you know?
So you guys have stories to tell?
We do have stories to tell.
But you don't want to tell because...
But let's be honest, we're living in a country where we're restricted to some level. We cannot tell authentic, true stories like that and put ourselves in danger just because we want to prove a point to a public who is not even ready to consume yet. There's going to be a time where we'll tell the story. The way Nigeria took time to tell the Abacha stories, the Biafra stories and all of that. We're not going to tell the story when it's happening there because you people want us to tell the story. That's not how it works.
No, it doesn't work.
You have these stories.
Yes.
There are things burning in your heart that you want to express.
Oh, yes.
But you cannot express now
Yes.
because...
No, it's not the right time.
Because first of all, legislation does not protect us as filmmakers.
No.
It doesn't. If, for instance, I get a camera and I get the permit, as you know,
we have filmmakers who are even in jail because of that.
So you cannot even dare. So if that's what I'm saying. An industry is not yet in place. Because if, like
we
in
don't
other
have
countries,
backing from the Ministry
Yes,
of
we
Culture.
don't.
Let's just put it that way.
We don't, because if an industry really existed with all the legislation in place, now
We can tell our stories.
Tell our stories, because I know I'll go out there. Lots of my colleagues, the filmmakers, are there. They understand that, okay, if they touch the daddies today, all of us, we're out.
We're on the
Look at what
streets.
happened just only in Nigeria, SARS. Just, SARS even does.
Yeah, with NSAS, we had the filmmakers, we had the
Everybody.
actresses, everyone was
It's
out.
not going to happen in Cameroon now.
Yes.
And I'm not going to go stand in front and take a bullet for people who will be on their keyboards typing, yes, 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 and then I die and my kids are at home, they don't have a mother. No, if I'm going out there, let's all go out there. Why are you guys putting pressure on entertainers to go out there when you're not out there?
Yeah.
The people in Nigeria went out before entertainers joined them and
So we
started
have-
putting in their voices.
Yeah,
We have several stories that are waiting to be told.
sure.
And they will be told.
When will they be told? What environment is needed for our best stories to be told? Because these are things you're
We will
burning.
not answer that question. It's a trick question. But we will tell the stories.
When will you tell these stories?
They
There
will
are
be
stories
told.
you're
The
burning.
stories
The
will be told.
stories will be told. No, we will not tell you when. But they would definitely
stories
be
waiting
told.
to be told.
Oh
Yes.
yes, they would definitely be told.
What environment do you need to tell? Okay, we may not have a time, but what
Yes.
environment do you need to be able to tell these stories?
Safe environment for filmmakers to be able to tell their stories without fear of being locked up in jail,
Yeah.
being killed,
Because you have filmmakers who are in jail.
who are in jail.
Some
We
have been attacked
Yes.
for telling stories.
Yes.
And what will that safety look like? What needs to be in place?
That
Who,
is-
who needs to provide this safety?
The
Our
industry, the industry has to do that.
Okay.
We are, when we were members of the board, we attempted a lot of time. As I said,
That's the board of Cameroon film
Film
industry.
Cameroon film
Yeah.
industry.
but a lot of time we failed because we cannot. There's that correlation. The one that, okay, the left and the right has to be together.
Yeah.
But the left is there, working. The right is there just watching. By the time you go, you work, and you come here, everything goes back to zero because you say, oh, we don't know. And those legislators are there waiting that all of you have to come
Together as a unified force for them to be able to listen to us and even take us seriously.
Serious.
And when he's talking about the left and the right, he's basically talking about the anglophone film industry and the francophone film industry, because we have two film industries with two different operative systems
Yeah.
that have to come together as one. And then we can present our case in front of the Ministry of Culture, and we can have the backing of the government when we're doing certain things. And until then, we cannot even be taken serious.
Yeah.
Right.
We can't.
And so you're looking at film industry to facilitate the creation of this space. And Stephanie, I hear you saying the government also needs
Oh yes,
to
definitely.
secure,
Exactly.
your enterprise.
Yes.
And until then, we
Yes.
have stories that are waiting
Oh,
to be told.
a lot of stories,
Yes.
and they will be told.
Yeah, of course they will be told. It's
Certainly.
not a joke, these things. we are saying-
Certainly not. Certainly not. And these are as storytellers and writers, producers. One thing is stories that touch the heart
Yeah.
are the stories that people will go for. When people tell you my
Yeah.
best movie is this, is because there is something they
relate
can
to it.
relate,
Yeah.
relate to. And so if there are stories that people want
And you cannot provide.
and you cannot provide,
Commy, you are in this country, and I know what you do. And for the press, there are journalists today that the stories. You understand? If journalists, with all the credentials that they have had, all the backings that they have had, they go out there just to have basic information for the public,
Yeah.
and they have that kind of antagonism with the state and the forces. How about one more of producers?
Producers,
Whose
filmmakers.
organizations, the organization is not even as strong as theirs.
Exactly.
well, hope that the stories that are waiting to be told will find some expression. We're going to take a break, and at this point we'll have other members of our audience have their say on this topic. And when we come back, we'll get conclusions from Stephanie and the Daddies.
You're now watching Rough K talking about the 80-20 movement, which is playing 80% of Cameroonian music and 20% foreign. If this is implemented properly, this will ensure that the Cameroonian music grows locally, which will give it the potential to cross boundaries. At the moment, I think they are not thinking on an international level. They just want to capture the local population, which is a great thing because if as an entertainer or as an artist, if you really want to make a name out there, your local people have to celebrate you first, and which I think this is what the movement is all about. And people should not get this misunderstood. It's not about banning any foreign music or stopping anyone from shining. It's just basically supporting our own and making sure that our culture thrives as others.
Hello, Commy. Talking about what our artists need to do to stay competitive in the international market. I think we have artists like Charlotte Panda, PTP, who are still very much competitive. So I guess you want me to talk more about the urban industry because I feel like that's where there's a little bit of problems or where we are laid back. Because you think urban music is, I think you and I know urban music is new. So what I think these artists lack is the right platforms. By right platforms, I mean by platforms which impose a standard on them. Most of them don't like that. They see it as control, but to get to a certain level, you need to belong to some platforms, and these platforms have these standards, recommendations, like the quality of your sound, your music should be unique, original, and all of that. But we have songs that have good quality, songs that are original, but the problem is we don't know them because it's just one little guy who has released the song, and if the song does not get to a certain platform, it doesn't go viral. So I think that's one of the main things our artists need to do, be in the right platforms. The right platforms. We have international platforms which have some recommendations. So I feel like our artists are just loose, they're just by themselves. I mean, they need to, on the other hand, we who are interested in the music need to approach them, propose all these savoir-faire so that they can uplift youth and uplift their careers and the industry and be competitive in the international market. Thank you.
Welcome back. Time flies when you're having fun, and more than just fun, we've had a lot of learning. I've learned a lot from both of you, especially about the challenges that filmmakers are going through and the difficulties you're facing in telling the stories that you really want to tell. And we're going to bring this conversation full circle. Back from where we started about here we are in Cameroon, and the current debates are about producers really wanting to break through and make their impact, and they're feeling like there are forces stealing the market from them. They feel like foreign producers and entertainers are stealing that market from them. And as we round off the Daddies, what do you want to leave us with? Because this is the present situation, but there is a future ahead for Cameroon film industry, and you have served on that board. You know the challenges, you see the issues. What's the way forward on some of these issues? How do we break out and break through?
I think I said it during our conversation here. I said the first thing is the state. We cannot do this thing by ourselves. We cannot do it by ourselves. There is a problem of harmonizing the two systems of the industry, which has been a very difficult one. I know that the Ministry of Culture, through the minister, recently proposed a bill that was, the president actually adopted that bill on federation of the industry and tried to, but that is still not enough, because that is not going to still help us as filmmakers, because since the creation of, or that bill was adopted, what has happened? It has even killed the industry the more. To me, I thought that the coming of a bill of that nature, it was coming to solve the problem that was already existing. But now I don't see. So my only call is the government, the state, since the state has taken upon itself through the Ministry of Culture to harmonize or to regularize the issues that we have, it's still them to look deeply into the bill that they adopted and try to see how they can reorganize and make the sector to come back to life.
Right, a call to the state. And Stephanie, as we round up, I am keen on hearing your thoughts, especially for young female filmmakers, because again, you're in an industry that is dominated by men, and very few women are breaking through, and the few women who break through face a lot of opposition. I have seen some of the things you have had to deal with, you know, publicly, and as we end up, you know, you've made your name. You still have a lot of projects you're working on. What do you have for these sisters in the film industry who are trying to grow and who are facing some of the challenges you face?
Well, as a female in the entertainment industry, which is highly dominated by men, I mean, I came from the oil and gas industry, working in the HSC department, health, safety and security, going offshore, working with men. So I already developed this thick skin working with men, and I know how to stand my ground, but not all females will be able to do that, because your personal life is even judged before your professional life, before your skills, before whatever. So that's the first thing you always be faced with. But what you need to understand is you need to come in and be prepared and be ready for what is going to happen, for all the challenges that you're going to face. You have to develop a thick skin. I didn't used to be the one with the thick skin before, because I would just flip out, but I had to learn to do that, because I realized that people will only try to provoke you where they know that is your weak point, for you to do the things that will make you to, you know, look like you're not a serious person. So that's the first thing, develop a thick skin and be ready, because it's a jungle. It's wild out here. Nobody cares if you're a female or not. They will mess you up if they need to. And then secondly, the fact that the entertainment industry is not financially sustainable right now, it puts women in a very bad position where you can easily start selling yourself short, because you want to maintain this lifestyle that the social media has made for people to be seeing just the show reel of our highlights, and you think that that is what it is. But behind the scenes, the reality is the film industry is hard. It's a struggle. People are struggling behind the scenes, and they're only led by their passion to keep pushing forward. So before you come in, know there's no money. Get a side hustle.
And you've had a side hustle.
I've had a side hustle before I came in, during, and I'm still trying to find multiple streams of income for money to keep coming in, because I love to look good. I have to maintain looking good, not just because I'm in the entertainment industry, because I love to look good and feel good about myself. You understand? So you need to get a means of income that will keep you going while you're waiting to blow, as they say.
You will certainly do that. Thank you very much, the daddies. Thank you, Stephanie, and I really want to congratulate both of you on all the amazing projects you've been able to execute. And we brought you here because you're amongst the best. Thank you for the encouragement to other actors and especially female producers. And we're glad you sounded the aspirations and the expectations from film industry stakeholders to the government. We want to wrap up on this note, but the conversation doesn't end here. The conversation continues on our social media pages, and we invite you to, you know, let us have your thoughts, share your comments and your feedback. And this weekend, if you can, please watch a Cameroonian movie. In the course of the program, you heard some of the spaces where you can get them, and on Yabadu and other platforms. And on that note, it's goodbye from us on Spotlight. Thank you.